they could not secure a job due to what is happening around. And the causes of that could be maybe laziness, maybe lack of funding in a particular environment, maybe lack of creativity, resources, support from government, bad governance, or like unviable economy, etc. like that. But in 1980, we have a sector which is one of the creative sector because being generally it's a textile fabric making sector. So we have up to 200 factories all over this country. They are producing textiles, fabrics for both local and international consumption. Then, an indirect and direct job then was around 500,000 jobs for young people in this country. And indirect jobs was around 2 million jobs. And then you can notice that in an environment where unemployment is very, very high, we record high crime rates, like all those vices, terrorism, and all that. So I'm just trying to flash back to what happened in those days here. We recorded very low or no terrorism, crimes, and that. Even we have more of this company in another part of the country. But that sector was harnessed then, and everything was blossomy. But today, we have nothing. And then we add like graphic artists, visual, etc. They were all employed, and within 1985 to 1991, the government of Nigeria was able to save, realize close to $2 billion from that fabric sector in that 19. But now, we don't really have that. But we have opportunities in art, so how we can promote art from painting, writing, etc. like that. So as an artist, I think our work, what we do is more practical thing. What we can see, I think other sectors as well too. So for instance, museums, that can also like attract a lot of people, both locally and internationally, and thereby if properly managed, properly equipped with the right resources, can also help in building economy and helping to employ more youth in this country, whereby we have many young people that are out of job or that are unskilled and that. And what about art galleries? We have many around that we don't even really know about. Some people don't even patronize. Thereby the sector is dying. It's not always that you must buy art or so. Appreciating the work of art, maybe books like from the writers, maybe appreciation is even enough in most cases. But here we lack such. Here we don't really visit such in that. And like festivals, if government of this country can also support, like we have different festivals like Naves, this kind of festival, I know some of us we know about it, can bring normally like every year it brings people from both visual and performing. When you know visual, either you are a writer, you are into art, like visual, like painting, sculptures, things like that, or you are making films on that. So that festival, it converts everybody together every year. And we have Abuja Carnival and that, and internationally, and you know what that means. Like for instance, if there is to be something like that here, like events that promote art or reading culture, people in that vicinity, maybe people who are running hotel, bar, and every other things like that, it helps in like running the overall economy of the state, of the country, and that, and in a way projecting the country's imagery in a positive manner. Right? So we have monumental sites. For instance, we have many sites like that. Many arts are attractive, that attract people into art in this city. For instance, we have the one at Laiko. We have Mokbo. We have many that I can know that we can also check to, but we don't really know. Some of us, or many people, even as writers, as artists, we don't really patronize such. But I just noticed that there is one difference, like one big difference like between we here in Nigeria and the countries whereby they embrace art, embrace all these things that I've been mentioning, like they promote their culture and they value what they have and they project to the world to see. One thing about them is, I think maybe from when they were very young, they are children, like they try to inculcate the habit of like pride in such as in their monuments, in what they have, in their heritages and that. For instance, in Egypt, like averagely, based on my own research, young Egyptians, they can tell you things about pyramid as a foreigner. If you are there for the first time, they will tell you about Giza, they will tell you about those things, like even like some of us, we used to have like the orientation that from what we read from those that are Christian, maybe Bible, that it was built by Egyptians. So they will educate you more in the way that will suit their country. For instance, they will tell you that it was not built by Israelites, but the pyramids, there are many, were built by slaves. Like they will try to make you see, like we see Egypt as maybe like a country that God is against. From some of I don't know whether I'm right about what I'm saying.
Biblical approach.
Yes, from that approach. Yeah, but they will make you know that, for instance, we were made to know that it was built with the sweat of Israelites and that. They will tell you it was built by the Pharaoh's slaves and that. And they will tell you beautiful things. They can tell you things, each monument, without even going to the experts or artists, because they go there for recreational activities. They go there at least in the year, once or twice. Averagely, Egyptians, you find them there. What about all these holy lands and all that? All what we can find there, they are also works of art. Because when we are talking about tourism, like things like that, at least something must be put there for us to see, or something must have been like erected long ago. Like we know, like 4, 3, 6 wonders of the world, 5 wonders of the world. And things. They are all works of art, even beautiful architectural pieces like we find around, because they require creativity. So just like we are all writers on that, before you can be a good writer, you must be creative. You must be imaginative. So once you are creative, imaginative, once you can envision, so meaning we are doing the same work, only that we are using different medium. Just like me, I recently wrote a book because I tried, my work is always about what is happening, like the endemic problem in my immediate society or my country. But I was in quest of people like in Nollywood, because I'm also very close to them. We work together, I do things about camera and that. But I was expecting content that will address the issue about migration, illegal migration, that we find, and all that, the way people are dying, young people in particular. But they don't really understand. It's not that they are not doing it, but I see it as they are not really doing enough. And you cannot over-exhaust the subject. So that inspired me to write a short film, which I concluded like we have to shoot it. And I was advised when I showed it to some people that I turn it to a book. Maybe I might publish it if I know how to do about that. But we're shooting the film, so it's going to correct a lot of things about the way many young people see like migration from our country or our continent to other countries or continents without knowing what they will meet there and the way they die and that. So like another big opportunity, beautiful opportunity is in books. Like we do this better. There are platforms whereby we can sell what we are doing. Like you can do a lot of things. Like Quora. We know Quora, we know all those platforms. It's not really, but you can maybe start of what you have in your book or something. You can put it there. People will comment, or people that are struggling with different things about writing and that, we can solve it maybe. Because somebody actually gave me an info when I posted about my challenges then about it. And basically, to wrap up everything, like in Kenya, in tourism alone, they realized up to in 2018 before pandemic, they realized up to $5 billion in tourism from inflow and outflow of people, foreigners coming to see different sites. In Rwanda, they realized up to $500 million. I think recently or some years, 2 years ago, they sponsored a club, a premiership club, in order to promote like tourists into their country and in order to boost their economy. We know about huge some amount they make in these religious pilgrimages where they see sites, monument sites built by artists, long ago, and that in places like Saudi Arabia, in places like Israel, because those yes, places they are also built. They are also creative work, beautiful architecture. Though it has those things have religious like something like that too. But at least when you see it from our angle, I see it as a work of art, like and that's what they have. So I don't really know. I'm not really concerned about what is, but like in Saudi Arabia alone, from religious tourists, they are making billions of dollars every day, as in that's into their economy, and that it's something like and to our government too, that we are fighting so hard in building the imagery of this great country, like making the world to see us, like trying to paint Nigeria like a Bible country and that. So I know it's going to be great again. Amen. But it is very, very easy to achieve all this when artists or art, work of art or writers are being embraced. For instance, I had an experience in Abuja at Craft Village, very close to Transport, if anybody has. So, like, one thing, yes, very close. To the hotel. Yes, that's where they gave the artists long ago. But during the time of Yaradua, former late President Yaradua, they wanted to sell the place. They believed the place, because it was, it is at a central area, very, very like, the value is very, very high now. So, but they gave them long ago before the place gained that, and anywhere that is like very expensive like that, politicians always eye such properties like that. So they wanted to give them somewhere else. And that very environment, if you know it, it's like diplomatic environment where we have it's a very, but just gave us very big, massive, So, but they wanted to, but then former President Yaradua was very humble. He used to come to pray as a Muslim. You know the way Muslims pray among normal. So they proposed, they concluded, if not because of interruption by one of the chief imam of that place that spoke with the president directly, they almost concluded in sending everybody away or giving them another place. But the effect of that is, one thing that they fail to realize is, whenever, like we have diplomats, the ambassador of big countries like US, UK, Switzerland, whenever they come, like somebody, a new person is being posted in Nigeria, they work like team, they have their own association. The first place they normally visit foreigners is